So the time has come to give this thing its first test drive. I'm just going to take it around the block and see what happens. If everything goes good, I'll probably just drive it to work today. So yeah, let's see how it goes. The interesting thing about my setup is that because I left everything in the truck how it was, you still have to put the key in and turn it, or none of the truck gauges will work and the steering will lock. So you still have to actually turn it on, but obviously not start it because that would do nothing. Anyways, here we go. Forgot which key it was. Blinkers work. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I've got the truck parked and I just need to work on a few things. There's this wire for the oil gauge that didn't reach, so I spliced a new section in, need to tape it up, and then it can reach to the sending unit, which is down here. The sending unit right there, and because of where I moved the wires, it didn't quite reach, so now it will, and I can see oil pressure, which is particularly important in an engine you just swapped, you know, in case you spring a leak or something you wouldn't know. Pretty soon you'd be running without oil. So that, and then I'm overheating because the fans are not turning on, so I'm just gonna run a switch for both fans. It plugs down there somewhere. Just run a switch for both fans. Should be pretty simple. And then last thing is the tack isn't working for whatever reason. So I have an aftermarket one that came with the truck, and I just got to track down which ECU wire I need to splice into for the signal on the tack. So yeah, just a few simple things, nothing too bad, and I'll feel better about driving this more. Okay, so the oil and the aftermarket tack are both loosely wired up. I'm going to fire this thing up to see if they work before I clean all the wires up, and then we'll start looking at the fans. Okay, so I'm back to work on the truck, and today I'm going to figure out what's the deal with radiator fans, figure out how to wire those up to a switch so that I can get them to work right, and then I'm going to figure out how to either wire the tack to a spark plug wire or to one of these wires off the transistor, which is right here, right there. So one way or another, we're going to have a tack, and we're going to have operating radiator fans. So yeah, as far as oil pressure goes, there's another wire here that could be it, so I'll probably try that real quick And honestly, if it doesn't work, I've got an adapter coming so I can use an aftermarket oil pressure gauge, so I'm not too worried about it. But before I start really dailying it, I want to have an oil pressure monitor of some sort. Okay, so fan switch works. Only one fan, the one on the right. This one over here isn't coming on, so I'll diagnose that later. But that one fan should be enough to cool off the engine, so we're gonna give it a go, see what happens. Okay, so it started to overheat, so I turned it off and let it cool down a bit, and at the same time cleaned up wires a little bit so I could more comfortably drive this thing. I said a little bit, but anyways, it's cooled down a bit, so I'm going to try bleeding the coolant system again, and if I can get it to bleed right, we'll go for a little drive. Made it to the gas station. She's getting her first actual fill up on 93. So my duct tape job so far is holding on the filler neck, so that's good. Yeah, get her filled up and don't have to worry about running out of gas because it definitely didn't have much in it. So this is only like a mile from my house, but it made it here without overheating, so I guess I'll try and take it to work tomorrow and see what happens. So made it to the gas station and back, no problems. Seems to idle a little low sometimes, so I don't know what that's about, but it hasn't died on me or anything, so I'm not too worried about it. So now I just got little things to do, like get the tack to work. I really am just gonna take this out and use these cheap Harbor Freight gauges so that I can put the dash back in. I'll just find some place in the stock dash to stick those. That way I can have a dash again and just work on small things like that. Clean up the engine bay a little. It looks like a plate of spaghetti right now. I mean, it's never going to look super clean, I don't think, but I can definitely do better than this. So for now, I've just got the hood back out so I can put it on and keep the rain out of it and drive it around and just figure out what else it needs. But yeah, pretty stoked for sure.